Well, it's a rub. It's an old rub, but it's a rub just the same. And the reason why, even though it's old, it's important is back that way there's a couple fresher ones that I'd seen earlier in the year, probably from the season just gone, and they all seem to be running parallel with this sort of steep drop off. Basically, there's cliffs over that way, and then there's kind of, it's not cliffs here, but it's quite steep over here, and they all seem to be along the same line on top of this ridge, where obviously any bucks could be bedding, looking over this edge, and that way if anything's coming from either direction, they can sort of see both ways. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So it's a good sign. I'm going to keep carrying on along here as far as I can go and see what else is around. Look for any good trees, any oak trees. If I can find any oaks, that would be nice. See if there's any beech nuts anywhere, anything that might be producing some type of food source for them, and then maybe see if I come across any old beds or anything. Snow's just melted, so they should still be fairly visible, but who knows? See, this to me here looks like there's bedding area. Looks like there's probably one bed here. There was another just there. There's also a bunch of, you can see where I've been walking around here just on top of that, and then I can see more down there. There's this fallen tree here, and obviously there's rocks behind, so you've got a good view out and enough protection from the wind and stuff like that. Well, I don't see any rubs or anything like that just yet. I'm getting closer to the top of this ridge though. Okay, now we're talking. That looks like a bit of a fresher rub, probably from the season just gone. Can't see any more too close. There does look like a really good bedding spot just there, but it's been a while since I've seen one. It's fairly obvious. I've got water down that way. There's a creek down there. I'm up towards the ridge, top of the ridge. I'm not quite at the top. I'd probably say I'm about 100 to 200 yards below the top of the ridge. And this is the first one I've seen in a while, like I say. But at least I'm getting back into some more, because there was a period there where I didn't see any, but this is now, we're about as far back from the road as you could probably get here, and it cliffs out on that side. So I was expecting to find some good sign up here. So I'll keep looking. The other thing I've sort of noticed is right now I can see some pines and stuff. I mean, when I was going through patches back there, which was just nothing but hardwood, there was scat, there was deer poop, but there was no sign like this. So obviously mixed cover is going to be critical, I think. So anywhere where there's just big open hardwood flats is ignored. It's not really transition, because it's not like I've got a lot of pines in spots and then it transitions out into hardwoods, but just sort of areas where there's more pine mixed in. So anyway, yeah, well, let's have a look for some more. I mean, this to me looks like an ideal bedding spot. Perfectly flat in a lot of spaces. There's this big log here behind. Like I say, the top of the ridge is probably about 200 yards that way. You can see straight out over all of this, and that rub is probably only 20 yards behind me. So I would guess there's probably been deer bedding right in here, at least, some point throughout the year. Okay, nice. Less than 15 yards from that bedding area, and that probably 30 yards from that other rub, there's another one there. Well, basically what I know is that the deer I got this year, he was up in an area like this, and I came in below him on a different route, but basically when I walked out with him, I could literally see a rub line like this right into where he was bedding. Just one rub after the other, constant. So that gives me hope that I'm going to see some more up here, and yeah, maybe come the season there'll be deer up here, but you never know. I mean, you can see how steep it is here, and you can probably see this clear as day. Trail right here. I mean, it's worn, there's definitely deer using it now. I mean, you can quite clearly see it. This is obviously a wintering trail. And you can see where they've been going up and down there. Yeah, you can obviously see where they've been moving. There's water down there, so they'll be going down to the water. But I don't see any rubs or anything along it. It's probably a wintering trail. So I don't want to go down there, because otherwise I'm going to have to hike back up, because I'm parked higher up. So I also want to go check out the top of this ridge a bit more. Go actually back where I saw buck sign, not just follow a trail that any deer's been walking up and down. We've hit pay dirt. Nice big oak tree. Right next to that oak tree, an old rub. Now we're cooking. Got one rub, two rub, about 20 yards that way. Got an oak tree, which means I can see the leaves, there's more oaks in here. And then about 100 yards that way, sort of traversing around this ridge, is the other two rubs, the previous rubs that I saw, and that old rub that's right there by the oak tree. So now we're really starting to get, oh, and there's another rub on that tree right there. So now we're really starting to get into some good stuff. So I realised watching this I forgot to film an end for that video because I was doing other stuff, but basically I found everything that I need to find prior to the season. I just after those two rubs, there was a big patch of oaks, like a big open oak flat almost, right on the edge of the drop off, right on the top of the ridge. So there's everything the deer need in there. It also transitioned into some thicker pines, so there's bedding up there, there's food up there, and then obviously there's water down in the valley. And there was actually a couple of little spots, low spots, like bowls, where water was collecting. So they have everything up there that they need. So basically, yeah, come the season, there should be deer up there. Whether there'll be a nice shooter buck is another question. But that's the exciting thing about it. Basically, I think what I'll do next time is sort of talk about how I would like to hunt it, because that's the other thing. It's easy enough to find all that stuff, the food, the sign, the water, all that, the cover, everything else. But then it's about how do you attack, or not attack, but how do you try and hunt that area without spooking deer out. So that's something I still have to work on and still have to figure out. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully see you more in the season.